Right. There we go. I had some issues with my, I had some issues with the stream setup. So all of a sudden, nothing was working as expected. So I didn't start on time. So therefore, we're going to start everything up from scratch. I had everything running, but I want to set it up now. There we go. And we need Chrome. Let's start with that. So, um, about 2 weeks ago, um, I started, I started on a search feature in a Goldpath. And then I wanted to finish the stakeholder value scoring feature first, and that's almost done. That's what I've been streaming in the mornings. But what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to start working on the search feature, and a little bit of work has been done on it already. Um, but I need to do a lot more. So, first off, I've been doing a lot of research, and what I wanted to try out, I've been doing full stack text searches like in normal SQL databases quite a lot, but I wanted to try out vector searches as well. And uh, I figured out that apparently you can like combine the search results both from the full text search and the embedded vector search, and that would allow me to get search results that both match the words that the user is typing in, but also if there are adjacent concepts when they're searching, I can find the adjacent concepts as well. Now, I think if this if this works, is a really good way for to sort of find duplicates, find related issues or tickets or features. So I'm really hoping that I can get this to sort of work, combine. So this is the result of all my research, and then like I chewed it through. I guess it was ChatGPT. And this is sort of what I landed in. So let's start with the command palette integration. What I really like in Visual Studio Code is I can quickly jump between files. I can also jump between different features depending on what commands I strike. So in GoldPath, there is a similar feature where I can jump between different pages currently. So all the pages that are here are also available in like a um, similar style setup. But what I want to have as well in this command palette is I want the search. You can see I've already prepared it for the search. So if I'm looking for something, I just go here, I type what I'm looking for, I can hit enter, and I can immediately come there. So I want the search to be integrated in the command palette. Uh, and then the backend should, of course, do the search using both the vector database and the full text database. And I'm going to use Postgres Postgres has a plugin called PG Vector. I want to try that out. And then just going to use OpenAI to work with the embeddings to fill the database as people are entering items and milestones and whatnot. And then everything will be searchable, but also there will be like a relatable search. So if I am in this command palette here and I type something, maybe it's a login issue or whatever, then I would like the search to go and find it. but the results are then displayed in it, similar to files being displayed in Visual Studio Code. So I need to make sure that I can navigate to them, and I really want it to work so that I can use URLs to navigate to the items. It's just links. So I'm going to use the anchor to sort of navigate into a structure. So currently I'm looking at the search milestone in GoldPath. So that's this URL in my that's this structure of the URL in GoldPath. But I need to then navigate to an item in the milestone because an item will always be on a milestone. So I figured I could use the anchors so that I go here and then it navigates to that specific item with using a scroll when I navigate there. So if I just quickly close the description here, then hopefully I can maybe I shouldn't double click it. There we go. Then I can navigate directly to the specific item that you found in the search results without, you can go directly then with Command P and then go straight to it. So that's what I want to do. And then if we take it, if we expand the description again, that's the URL and deep linking structure. There's a display of the search results. But basically what I need to do then is make sure I have the vector database set up. I need to add columns and schemas and whatnot. However, I'm using Prisma, so I really hope that I can sort of combine Prisma without having to be too fancy with it. And like if this is basically, I think it was Claude who suggested a bunch of setups. I haven't really tried them yet, but I'll get to that in a moment. And then it made suggestions of like how would I work with the embedding service? How would that work? When should it update the different items and milestones so they're searchable? And then we have the process and optimization set up, and a little bit further down. These are all examples. Further down, I will have command palette integration. I can't find it now. Basically, I wanted to show the ranking score, feature of the results. It's in here. It should actually be a section specifically for that. But unfortunately, I didn't really find it. But you can see here that it gets all the full text vector search, and full text results. Then it maps them, and then it boosts the vector results because, yeah, these different scalings is something that I need to adjust as soon as I get things up and running and I see how they behave. So that allows me to have a hybrid. Also, the interesting with this is because it combines the two results, if the vector database is empty, the full text search will still work. So if I, for some reason, haven't, like I'm chewing through a lot of embeddings, or for some reason I'm not able to contact OpenAI right now because that's what I'm going to use for embeddings for now. I might change it, but this is just to get the prototype up and running. Then it will still work with the full text search. So that'd be interesting. So what I did was I took all this and I actually fed it to uh, Copilot through as a like a pull request or like an issue. I think it was an issue. Oh, but I asked Copilot to implement this based on all the data that I was. Oh yeah, I did that over the phone. Um, so I gave it basically all the information that you just saw, and then um, it took my code base and it's actually been working on this is its own results. Yeah, I can't see my initial prompt for it, but it took this, worked a little bit, and made an initial plan. and then started working. We can see several commits in. I gave it a little bit of feedback. We can see here that the ranking constant here, that this is the ranking that I was talking about. It's called recurrent rank fusioning, and we can see that it worked with it. And I gave a little bit of feedback, and eventually um, I needed to work on other stuff. It's done a lot of stuff, but I need to take this and actually see what it's done with it. So we have this horrible branch name, by the way. And we're going to git check out origin. Uh, ah, no one's watching right now, so that's good. Ah, there we go. Oh, what's that? There we go. And now we actually have all the code changes that it made, and I have no idea if it's working or not. So let's start by see if this actually builds. And we can see that there's a lot of issues in the Prisma schema because, like, obviously it hasn't been able to run the Prisma schema. It's struggling with adding the full text indexes. Thankfully, it looks like there's no name argument, so that's probably easy to fix. Let's start by doing that. Prisma. Um, there's one. There's the other. Let's see if that builds. And immediately we're running into issues that Prisma can't really handle full text indexes in the current connector. And if we look at the connector that I'm using the Postgres extensions. So let's actually figure that one out. It's a preview feature. Full text search Postgres. That's what I want. There we go. Prisma generate. Oh. npx Prisma generate. What version is this added in? Oh, should have been for available for a long time. In Prisma 6. And I'm using 6. So I should have it. I need the preview feature flag. Oh, all right. I thought that's what I did. That's the provider. Prisma client JS. Preview feature, full text search Postgres. Yes. Search. Uh, Full text search with raw SQL. Yes, I can do that. I know. I guess. Oh, there it is. That's how that's in my SQL. Currently does not support indexes to speed up full text search. There's an existing GitHub issue for this. All right. Uh, well, that is not entirely true. Okay, let's skip the indexes for now. Full text. Look into that later. All right. See if it builds now. Nope. Yeah, that builds. And we don't have the OpenAI. Let's install it. That's actually not the package name. Uh, OpenAI npm. That actually looks like that's exactly what I wrote. npm install save open AI. There we go. That's better. So I used a very early version of uh, ShadCN, and I used the latest version of Next.js, and they are not really working well together. They are working well together. I'm just getting warnings about the React versions. There's a page for that on ShadCN that I'll figure out in a moment, but that's not where we're focusing on right now. We have a bunch of imports that's not working. Oh, but because that link, that's not the link. Or that's not the correct. Oh, interesting. It's a nice router. That's not how I set up my routers. Let's look at the router. There we go. So clearly, it didn't really do everything the way it's supposed to. That works. We can move that one. Where's my procedure? There we go. That's the procedure right there. So nice. That's not the context. Where did it get that context from? Anyway, let's fix the rest of the procedures first. Already it's getting a little bit better. It's following my context. It's just using the wrong context for all of the inputs. Why is it using the wrong context? Oh. Oh, Didn't know I made any changes there. Oh yeah, now I see it, of course. Sometimes you're a little bit slow. Let's just change all of these to session user. And because of that, we don't need the this is actually not how we use with the access rules. Right, we're gonna fix that. And then, oh, okay. That's creative. Um, yeah, that does not have an it's interesting. So basically, the AI implementation just made up its own similar implementation to how I work, but not actually, it didn't actually look at the things are supposed to work. All right. This is why I prefer my own code generator. Look, it looks very similar in how it works. Give it the user, give it the, well, that actually works. That actually works. Okay, cool. User and type, then the ID, then the role. So we need project here. Well, the good thing is AI is not really coming for my job quite as soon as people might think. There, that's the last one. Now we need to figure out the Prisma thing. Actually, we can just do this. We don't need it from the context. Hi, Divya. Nice to meet you. I'm glad you're watching. There we go. Visual Studio can't find any issues with that anymore, so let's see how it goes. Progress. We're making progress. Let's get rid of some easy ones. 204. Interesting. And then we have the sync. Ooh. All right, we don't need that apparently, so we're just skipping that. Must be any or known. Okay. Actually, not too keen on that one. Let's do that proper. Oh, it's very direct. Didn't really need to do that. Yeah, we don't have an article yet. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's take a look at the entity embedded instead. Milestone, item, and article. Yes. Is searchable. True. We don't have something that is called is searchable. Find all unique milestones that are find a unique of get oh yeah no everything's searchable. Milestone. If there's no milestone, then milestone is not found. All right, cool. We can update the error message. Uh, content processor process, and we get send some data. We don't currently have tags, so let's give it an empty tag list. We should solve that. The expected type comes from data, which is declared, blah, blah, blah. All right. Title embeddings does not exist type. Okay. That's very interesting. Let's comment that out for now. Yeah, this is not surprising. Let's look at the Prisma schema again. Embedding. So we can actually see that it's added the embeddings to the schema. So it's actually interesting. There we go. We do have a lot of data that needs to be updated. And clearly there's a lot of stuff still to be done here. Let's look at index. Index is defined but never used. Line 208. And then we have the usage tracker. This seems to be fairly straightforward. However, it hasn't regenerated my Prisma. Prisma generate. Interesting. All right. Uh, Using any a lot, and we can fix that later. I think that's mostly what we're doing. Type any, type any. Now it's just any. I'm gonna actually cheat. I'm going to see if I can have. So I'm asking Copilot to replace the any usages with the actual correct types. That usually gives a decent decent start. Did it define types to do that? No. It's a good start. Curious to what it did here. Oh, it just defined everything. Okay. So Copilot with the Chat GPT plugin is not as good as the Claude plugin, but obviously the Claude plugin is not ideal. Yeah, I thought you might add your own types. You did it in the wrong location. We'll see how that works. Ah, you figured that out. There we go. Let's keep that. I prefer to have my imports at the top. It's getting better. Let's fix the same one here. Please do the same for the search file. So right now I just want to sort of get rid of all the errors and get it running, get some types in place, and basically cover all the ESLint issues. And once it builds, I want to try it out and see if anything works. I doubt it will be working, but at least then I get a chance to see what works and doesn't work. Unfortunately, to fix all the any files. This one only has two, so let's see if we can work that out. Parse formatter. Simple formatter parse until gray matter is added. Lovely comment. Mm-hmm. What is it actually doing with data? This is a string. It's a record of string. It says any, but is it really? Because this looks pretty much like a string to me. So it's a string record. That means that this here is a string record as well. There we go. Value string array. Why is that a stringer? Oh, because it's a map. So let's join it. There we go. That's something. This one's still working. That usually means it should just be restarted. So let's do that because there are just so many of them, and I just want it to be typed so that we can go on with our lives. Query raw. Yeah, we need to define a type for that one. Same for that one. So we actually might need to let it chew out. Come on. Come on, baby, light my fire. I don't know, sometimes it just takes way longer to get these things running. What we could do in the meantime, we could actually ask it to run some tests, see if they work. There's probably some broken ones there as well. Not sure if AI makes me faster or more or slower. It could have been faster to just go through this uh, manually. Uh, Interesting. So what I do when I run the tests, I run them against an actual Postgres database. Oh, thank you, finally. And I do migrations, and it added a migration here, and it actually adds the, does it? Create extension if it doesn't exist. So it should add the vector extension. However, it can't find it. So I'm not sure that's how it's supposed to be added. Whoa. All right, so I need to install it with a classic make install. That's very Linux, and then we can add the extension. So to get this working, I actually need to clone the repository and install it. That's not the root for Postgres. Wait, there we go. All right. All right, so to install that, I need to install the command line tools for the for Mac OS X. So apparently I need to have Xcode with C++ available to do that. That's interesting. Can I do brew pg vector? Oh, look, I don't need to do that. I can just do this. Brew install pg vector. Thank you. Now Xcode is starting up in the back of my computer, but hopefully I don't need to do that. There we go. We now should now have PG vector. That means that it should at least get a little bit further ahead, but it didn't. It did. Title embeddings does not exist. Of course it doesn't exist. That's correct. That's correct. That's wrong. That's wrong. Can you see what's wrong? It is, there are no double quotes. We need to do double quotes. Come on. I want American English. There we go. Yes. So all the alter table statements here are wrong. Copilot is getting it. Prettier is making it pretty. This one's not going to work. This one is not going to work. Search content. This one is probably not going to work. You're getting it. Let's try again. A little bit further. Create or replace function. Validate embedding. Okay. Syntax error near dollar. Okay. That's pretty early, isn't it? Yes, it is. Oh, that's a magic number right there. Returns Boolean as dollar. Begin return array. What's wrong with this statement? Are we actually using the embedded? Yeah, of course we are. Yes, we're using incorrect dollar content. There we go. Ah, it's prettier. Why is it doing that? It's doing SQL. Perhaps we just, for now, let's change it to text. Just don't clean it up, please. We have more of them here. We have more of it here. And then it should be fine. There's more. Actually, let's do this. Let's find all the dollars that has a space between them. There we go. Oh, there we go. Are you still here? Um, Create index concurrently cannot run inside a transaction block. No, it cannot. Where's the transaction block? As far as I can tell, it's not running inside a transaction block. All right, let's move them. Let's move. Boom. Let's move. I'm sorry that I'm not good at checking the chat. I will install an extension that shows that plays a sound when someone is adding something. Yes, that does not exist, and it's probably because we're missing quotes. There's a lot of missing quotes, unfortunately. Ah, why am I getting this error? Getting this error. And we, of course, that's going to be American. There we go. We're gonna have to keep adding quotes. The upside is I will actually know for a fact that things are working when with the migration as soon as this applies. How's that for a silver lining? English. T is vector. Search content. Yeah, of course. There we go. User search preferences does not exist in the database. No, that's probably true. Search preferences. It is defined in the model for some reason. It should be on the user model, but it's not. Wonder if that will work. Well, honestly, it's not used anywhere. Let's see if we can just ignore it. npx prisma generate. That one we probably need. No, you don't. We don't need search enabled either. That. Oh, I get it. I know what. I understand why I tried to do this. All right. So basically, it tried to add a bunch of feature because I wanted it to keep track of the usages. So it added it to the project. That's probably not where I want it. I do like the search analytics relation. I might like the search enabled. I don't think it should be configurable in any more advanced than that. This is not something that should be set from a database, which embedding model it should be working with. So honestly, I don't want that there. Yeah, but it's also not regenerating my Prisma file. It should this migration should add the embedding model, but it did not add the embedding model to the current database. So that's actually what's going on. This is an incomplete migration, so I need to add update the migrations to make sure that it is actually there. There should have been a migration here on projects. There's only one on item and milestone. Nothing on the project. So I need to add those. But all right. I don't think I'm gonna come much further right now. I've added the PG vector extension to Postgres. I got everything building roughly. The tests are not passing because I need to add a migration. And the migration was a little bit wrong, but we corrected that. but it's still wrong. It needs to add more fields to the database. And once that is done, I can actually start getting it up and running. And I still have too any implementations in this. And Copilot can correct that. All right, so let me clean this up and then I'll stream another session where we can work with this. There we go. We made a little bit of progress. It builds. We need to fix the migration script. We install the OpenAI dependency. And that's progress, I guess. Without having the migration in place, I can't really test anything. And I think that's probably just boring to look at. So I'm going to probably stop streaming here, and then we'll continue once I have a working database set up. But this is what it's like sometimes. One, OpenAI will make assumptions, as we clearly saw, and create not OpenAI, that was Claude. And then, so there's still work to be done. Still work to be done there as well. Uh, so it does. I do need to have. I do need to do a little bit of cleanup before. Otherwise, this won't be a interesting refactoring or thing to look at all. So yeah. For those who joined, thank you so much for joining. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow on the chat. I hope I can be better in the future. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.